started this live stream, and we start every video with saying, like, good evening or welcome, fellow exiles. And the reason we call ourselves exiles, and the reason we call you guys exiles in this case, is because we're supposed to be, every Christian's heard the words, in the world but not of it, but it's basically just a platitude people say. But what it's supposed to mean is, like, we live on earth, but we're actually we're part of God's kingdom. The kingdom we live in, like the country we live in the United States or wherever you just happen to be, is our secondary. We're still supposed to be loyal to that, but we're supposed to be, our primary loyalty is to God's kingdom. So, the reason I call us exiles is because in actually a good portion of the Old Testament, the prophets were warning the Israelites of all the bad stuff they were doing. Well, then the Babylonians, because they wouldn't change their ways, the Babylonians came in and conquered Israel, well, actually Judea, and hauled off them, most of the Judeans, into exile. And Jeremiah wrote them a letter. I recommend Googling. I don't remember what verses it is, but Googling Jeremiah's letter to the exile and read it. Sarah's going to look it up, I guess. I'm not going to read it to you now because it's kind of long. But basically it says that even though you're in exile, you're supposed to be working towards making the world around you a better place so that you can show God's love to people, and so you can, when they get back to Israel, they can have a stronger kingdom, or like when we get back, or when we finally go to heaven, there'll be more more people in heaven because we've helped people become Christians. And
it's Jeremiah 29, verses 1 through 23.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You should, like I said, you should read it. So that's why I call us all exiles, because it says in there that you should have children and teach your children how to be how to follow God, and teach your children right from wrong, and get a job and work hard, and grow a garden and be prosperous, so that you show people, not only you show people God's love and you show people what Christians working hard can do, but you can also have that ability to help people. Because on more than one occasion, I've used, like, the stored food I had. So when me and my late wife were still together before she passed away, we didn't have a lot of money, but we'd slowly buy food when it was on sale and stuff like that to store extra food. And there's been a couple of times where we've known people that, for whatever reason, couldn't get food stamps or unemployment or something like that, and they needed food. We were able to pack up enough food for a couple of weeks for them and give to them. So that's why part of the reason why we teach food storage and stuff like that is not just so we can eat it, but so we can help give it out and stuff to people who need it.
Okay.
That's awesome that I like 1 Samuel. Okay. People all the time like, oh, my favorite book of the Bible is this. My favorite book. Almost a lot of times I'll be like, oh, that's my favorite book of the Bible. They're almost all I say that about. The only one I really don't say that about is the Song of Songs or the Song of Solomon, depending on what, because it's a love letter between a brother and sister who are also married. I know there's theological reasons we're supposed to get out of it, but it's really hard to get past the ick factor. I know back then it wasn't that big a deal for royalty and stuff, but it's weird.
Yeah, there's an icky factor.
Yep.
It's just
so next week we're going to be doing we're going to be talking about the tagline that we use for every video and discussing what it means. It's from the book of Nehemiah. I did a video about Nehemiah and a video about my tagline. And the video about Nehemiah, though, about half the time I call him Jeremiah.
If you listen closely, you can hear me behind him going, Nehemiah,
yeah,
not Jeremiah.
She's on behind the curtain. It's Nehemiah. I didn't hear her.